over YouTubes. This is Jackpot Ninja here again with part 2 of my guide to maximum damage multi-tools. The search continues. Since the last video, there's been a new update, the Origins update, which has changed a few of the things that I was using to try and find this mythical multi-tool. In the last video, we were looking at using an alien S-class multi-tool with the perfect 35 damage bonus, and we were trying to find 3 perfect S-class modules and using the C-class blueprint as well, and making the best arrangements for adjacency bonuses. So this is what we came up with last time. So this is pre-Origins, and this is a 10k, nearly 11k multi-tool, and I've pretty much maxed out these S-class modules to the best that I could possibly get them at. There was a little bit of possibility that I could actually roll it up to an 11k if I kept pushing. So let's have a look at the changes that Origins has brought to multi-tools. So Origins has added in a new multi-tool upgrade station, and then these black market suspicious S-class modules, which replace the S-class as the best module you can get. So here's the what the multi-tool upgrade station looks like. You'll find it with Multitool vendor. For nanites, you can upgrade any multi-tool up to an S-class. And as we've seen in the previous video, alien multi-tools are the maximum damage that you can get as an S-class. So multi-tool upgrade station, founded stations at the Multitool vendor stand. You can choose to upgrade the class, all the slots, and it costs you nanites to do. And does it bring back the RNG element of S-classes? So could we possibly find an alien multi-tool that does more damage than the one that we've currently got? So as I mentioned previously, in the next update, they locked the damage potential for alien S-classes to 35% damage bonus. So I was hoping that the multi-tool upgrade station would mean that we could upgrade to a random S-class that would do more damage than the ones that I'd been testing with. So here we are. This is the upgrade station testing plan. What I needed to do was find multiple locations with an alien multi-tool within the pool of available tools, an A-class cabinet in the station, and an S-class cabinet on a planet somewhere in the system. So the idea was that I would get an A-class, remove all the tech down to the mining beam, get a reading off that to make sure that the A-classes hadn't changed, then do an upgrade at the multi-tool station to an S-class, test what values I got there, and then go and find a natural S-class down on a planet and compare the stats. So to cut a long story short, these are the values that I got for the natural A-class, the upgraded S-class, and the natural S-class. As you can see, the A-class is still 400, the natural S-class is 433.3 as before, but the upgraded you only get 416.7, which is actually lower than you would normally get from a natural S-class. So from this I concluded it wasn't worth looking into upgrading an alien multi-tool to S-class over what you would normally find on a planet. So in order to get the maximum 35% damage bonus, you need to find a natural S-class rather than try and upgrade your way to it. So that's what I'll conclude on this page. The upgraded S-class is always the same stats. Natural S-class is always higher, and damage multiplier for a natural is still the best in game. So this is what we were looking at last time, the S-class upgrades. So I'm going to go on to talk about X-classes in a bit. So the way that an S-class upgrade works is you have a pool of 6 available stats: damage, reload time, fire rate, clip size, shots per burst, burst cooldown, and as value advances, the number of stats on the module increases, as does the range of the values. So for an S-class, these are the values that you would get. So according to the game files, Wikipedia, and other sources, they suggest that you ought to be getting a max damage of 5%. But in my testing, I never found any module that had higher than 3 as a damage multiplier. But the main thing we were concentrating on was fire rate, because this seemed to have the biggest effect on damage potential, as it shows on the screen. So how do X classes differ from S classes? They're still using the same pool of 6 stats, as we said before, but the stat ranges go from a C class up to higher than an S class. The number of stats that you get are between 2 and 4. You always get a damage stat in the range of 1 to 3, and then up to 3 additional stats. So we're still maxed at 4 stats, and the ranges of values are much wider than they were for the S-class. So this is the X-class upgrade testing plan, or results. You get much more random than you would on S-class. You're significantly less likely to get a 4-stat module with maximum damage, fire rate, and 2 additional high value slots. So harder to find. I did a testing run with more than 500 modules, and out of those 500 I only found 2 that were higher stats than my pre-existing S classes were. So I said, given infinite time and resources, we could actually find a perfect module, but you've got to be really patient, and you've got to have a lot of C-class modules that you can burn off to keep re-rolling and re-rolling the X-classes. So just like before, I compared what I saw to what the game files wikis say I ought to be expecting. And again, the damage, they're suggesting that the max damage should be a multiplier of 6. And again, I only found damage of multiplier of 3 as a maximum. Reload time goes up to 30 from 25. Fire rate, you can get up to 20%, as opposed to 15 was the maximum previously. Clip size still 8, shots per burst you still get 1, and burst cooldown goes up to 25 now, as opposed to previous. So using those values and the 500 modules that I worked my way through, this is my new maximum damage multi-tool. So this is a 12k plus multi-tool. So if you remember in the first video, we were talking about a 9k being unbelievably good. So 12k goes way beyond that. So let's have a look at the stats that I'm getting on these new modules. So damage potential is now 12,367.3. And the stats on each of the modules, you'll notice that all three are the same, because I've used a bit of duping to ensure that I got exactly the right stats that I wanted. So it's still a random roll, but I found a perfect module, or as perfect as I could find, and then I reloaded a couple of times so that I got three of the same. So we've got plus 3 damage, plus 20 fire rate, and plus 8 clip size. So what are my next steps in my quest to find the highest value for this damage potential? We're going to keep on rolling modules, and we're going to try and keep the 3% damage potential and the 20% fire rate, but instead of clip size we're going to try and find a more useful stat such as burst cooldown or reload time, or preferably both, and hopefully we're going to get some values up above 13k. So that's the next push target, and maybe I'll do a third part to this series. I'm going to put together a playlist of all the videos so far, including the data gathering for the modules, so you can actually see me rolling 500 modules, and I'll do some describing how the techniques work, and you can see how I did the duping part of the getting the 3 identical X classes. So yeah, the quest continues. I hope that you click like and subscribe. My last multi-tool video was my highest viewed video so far, so yeah, hopefully we're going to get over 13k in the next couple of months. Ah, there we go. Help. Ah, there we go. Hello. Oh good, Sentinel combat unit. Should be a doggo. Where's he got?
Warning. Elite Sentinel Force.
Oh good. Here he comes. Going to sort me out this putting into those X-class modules that I've just burnt through.
Sentinel Walker detected.
Sentinel Walker, here we go. Only microphone audio has been broken.